So what are you trying to get done early, Coach, now that you're on the second day in pads?
I think the biggest thing is you want to get your feet back underneath you and sort of reaffirm who you are as a player. Fundamentally, we want to see quick reactions and and guys that play with power, guys that play sudden, guys that catch the ball, and do really the fundamental things that allow you to be successful. And after one day, you can see that hey, we're not as good a football team fundamentally as we were at the end of the last season, but that's to be expected the first day of spring practice. So. But there were good things to see as well, and we went long and hard on Saturday, so it was productive.
Anybody jump out or surprise you that's gotten off to a good start this spring?
I think Jamal Lyles is playing well. He's taken a big step forward. I think Lawrence LT is playing well. He's a guy that remember last year he had a shoulder injury, missed all the spring ball, and he had the back episode that took him into the season. Really didn't start playing until October. So this is the first time he's been able to get his feet on the ground fundamentally. I think in a spring practice, summer practice type of format.
How are Fry and Sokol adjusting to college life?
Like any freshman, I think it's a faster game. But Sokol's got great ball skills, can run. But he's not only transitioning to college, he's transitioning from a big quarterback to tight end. So there's quite an adjustment there. But he can catch the ball and run. And then Chris Fry's a good football player, but it's a faster speed. Speed of the game is picked up.
What are the major fundamental things that you are noticing?
I just watch them run, tackle, catch, do all those things, and we have drills that sort of apply to every position group to try and simulate game situations. So whether it's a deep ball drill or whatever it is, we want to see guys go up and play things fundamentally, and we want to play the best football players. We can teach guys what to do, but you need to play the best football players, and so fundamentally they have to do little things to get better.
Marcus Hicks in the corner spot is a little bit of time he had last year helping him right now? Or?
Yeah, I think Darian's a guy that plays the ball very well in the deep part of the field. He's a tackler. He's got a great attention to detail, and right now he's the other starting corner opposite Trey Waynes, but and that could flip back and forth a little bit. There's other guys are talented. There's other corners are talented.
What about the safety spot? How close are Williamson and Cox and those guys?
Very close. Demetrius Cox can be a very good football player for us. RJ has the playing experience, and he's extremely coachable. But Demetrius is a talented player. He'll be on the field for us.
You said before going in that you thought maybe end was the ideal spot for Lawrence Thomas. Do you feel more so that way after?
Well, it's one day in pads. One day in pads, but I think he showed some flashes, and we're going to play our best 4 defensive linemen. He can go inside and play. He's 290 pounds. He can go inside and play as well, and he's sudden. And as long as he stays active and he stays healthy, he's going to be a very good football player.
How much will you rep him inside? Some.
He'll probably get a little reps a day at inside, but the majority of his reps will stay outside at end right now.
Who's working behind Quan at middle linebacker? I know that Pat said you guys were going to try a lot of different combinations. How's that shaking out?
No, John Reschke's in there. Shane Jones will play in there a little bit today. So those two guys will sort of have it right now. But Riley Bullock can step in there as well. So we're going to play the best guys that can run and tackle. And that's going to be the deal. When we get them ready to play, the guys that run, tackle, and hit you, play with great effort, they're going to be the guys on the field for us.
Do you have any live scrimmage action today? I would imagine you probably didn't the first day. Did you done something?
Oh yeah, we went live on the first day.
Did you?
Absolutely. We'll go live today too. I think you have to do that. You have to find out who can play. And the quarterbacks were not live, but we're going to run and tackle. And there's going to be some guys get nicked up because of it. But this is spring, and we got to find out who can play. And we're a relatively young team in certain positions. But on the offensive line, Cody Keeler needs to play. He's a good football player. He needs to play. We've got other guys that are sort of secure in their positions, but he's a guy that's got to figure into it. Those tight ends are young. Josiah Price and Jamal need to play. In our wide receiver situation, we've got some young guys in there battling as well. So, it's a good situation.
Does getting outside, does that help you guys more game situations?
Well, I just try and get outside. I think the game's played outside in the environment, and there's going to be wind out there. It's going to be November. We're going to have wind. I don't know if the sun's going to shine in our eyes today, but it's just a little bit of a sterile environment when you go inside all the time, and too many perfect conditions. So we're going to go outside. We're going to just make a statement and try and go outside a little bit. We may be back in before you know it.
Said make a statement.
If this finger gets white, I go inside. It's like a little frostbite.
To the players make a statement, Coach? When you say you're going to make a statement, is this kind of a tough test for your guys early on?
No, I mean, it's just it's the way we are. I mean, I think they expect to go outside, and again, I just think that you can spread out a little bit more. You try to make it a little bit more realistic, and there are perfect conditions when you go inside, and the game is not perfect. So we got to practice on throwing into the wind. We got to practice on catching the ball as it moves. In flight with some wind, we've got to tackle. We got to do the things we got to do. It's a long way up to the top. I can just tell you that.
Speaking of throwing, your quarterback situation a little different than it was last spring. How are you handling the reps with Connor and then the two backups in Tyler and Damon?
We're just splitting all the reps right now in spring. I think it's important we try and rep as many players as we can to give them opportunities. So they pretty much split the reps with ones, twos, and threes, and Damian will go with the twos some, and Tyler with the threes some. But for the most part, Tyler remains a two. But they are both improved players. They both have talent, and you'll see some things as a coach. You'll see some things with both those guys that give you indication that they're moving forward, and then other indications that we're not where we need to be yet. But they're certainly functional, and they've made plays out of here.
How much separation is there between those two?
Not much. It just depends on how they come to practice every day. That's good.
One more question. Guys that were like a scout team last fall and have gone through winter conditioning, any of those one or two or three that have stuck out to you during the live scrimmage you've seen so far, or in general?
Well, I think Cooper's a guy that is a playmaker, and he's up to almost 250 pounds now, and he came here like 212. So he's active. He's a Shalik Calhoun type of player. He makes plays. He's a guy that stands out. Those linebackers, Shane, Joe, and Reschke, they got to play for us. And our guys, Jalen Powell is another individual that sticks out and be a playmaker for us on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, I think Dantonio Arnett's playing pretty well based on. But like I said, we're one practice into pads and two practices playing touch football.
Right.
And so it's difficult to ascertain.
Anyone else nicked up other than Taiwan so far that we didn't already know?
Come on, guys.
Well, spring. Sometimes spring you're a little different.
Yeah, I am. I'm a little different. Let's just leave it at that. I'm a little different. Okay. So.
Do you like spring football?
Yeah, I think it gets you back to your roots a little bit, and the pressure is not on for you to play a game. The pressure is on to try and get better, and so I think that's what every football program does in America. They find out a little bit about their freshmen, because your freshmen, when they come in, they're just the transition is difficult for them to handle. So you have an opportunity now to see what they've got. You find out who your leaders are and what your senior class is going to be like a little bit. And you set new goals for your program, and you try and move it forward. So it's always been a thing that we've tried to get better at. And I think we've always sort of tried to use the adage, try and get 3% better per practice, and that's what was told to me way back when I was playing by my college coach, so Coach Evans.
You talked about doing things a little differently in terms of going early more for the winter workouts to keep that chip. Are you doing anything differently overall, big picture?
Well, we've always spread it out because you're going to get some guys injured. You want them to be able to come back, so we've spread it out over 5 weeks. We'll continue to do that. But I think we just sort of stay the course in what we've done. Obviously, we're always trying to find new drills and different ways to approach the game and different things, and try and critique what we do and try and experience some new things and experiment as well. So we'll continue to do that. But spring's a time for, I think, for blooming and moving forward. How's that? We can end that. Maybe it'll bloom.
Poetic.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's my English major. Okay? That's all good?
Thanks, Coach.